On March 21st, I bought a new old steam locomotive. It will be the first of this type in my collection. And after a brief, what seemed like forever 6-day wait, on March 27th, it arrived. Without further ado, let's get to the unboxing. Enjoy the video. So here is the package of a type of locomotive that I hadn't had before until now. And this is my first brass locomotive. Let's go ahead and open it, and then I'll tell you what type it is. Kind of tearing a little bit into the box here, but that doesn't matter. I should probably get myself a box cutter knife. Here we go. Alright, there it is. Let's go ahead and open it up. What is that? Thank you for using priority mail. It's been wrapped in newspaper. Athern Trains Collector, author, historian, precision machinist, published poet, eBay user. Athern Edward A. Ermston Sr., I believe. It's a nice little card. A message from Mr. Edward. Thank you for the quick payment. Enjoy the engine. It's very nice of him. A bunch of newspaper. I think, yeah, that's just additional packaging. More newspaper. And here is the actual locomotive. Just going to tear the bubble wrap up because I'm not going to need it after this. Go ahead and lift it up. Completely green box. Alright, let's cut this final layer of bubble wrap off. It's also my first model that I've had the box say fragile on it. Probably because it is brass. Alright, here is all the bubble wrap off. And now, let's open it up. Alright, let's open it up. Oh, that was anticlimactic. Alright, now let's open it up. Ooh. And there it is. It's pretty. That looks very nice. And I'm trying to figure out the best way to pick this up. There it is. Feels decently weighted. Let's carefully pick this up out of the shell. From the pictures, this thing looked nice, but it looks even better in person. I'm going to take out the tender first. And be careful not to bend any of the handrails on this. This is my first Vanderbilt tender model, and wow, this thing is heavy. And it's also my first 6-axle tender model. And this is probably the largest tender out of my collection so far. It's got a cut bar on it. Air hoses. backup light, which doesn't work at the moment, but I'll be installing one of those eventually. And again, I say it's got a really nice weight to it. Definitely my heaviest tender as well. In fact, this tender probably weighs just about as much as 2319. And I think from the photos I saw that you can take off the coal bunker, or not the oil bunker. I feel it coming a bit loose. Just a little bit more. There it is, I think. There. You can take it off. And that looks like soldering work right there. But it doesn't really matter because it's on the inside. You can see nice kind of a walkway tread on the tender right there. And you can see it looks like wood right here. It looks very nice. I'm not going to press that down at the moment, so I'll just put it... Oh wait, something came off in the thing. It appears to just be the air hoses from the other side. Should be easily reattachable. Right now I'm going to put this down on the bubble wrap right here. And now I am afraid to lift the locomotive. All the fine details. No. See if I can grab it in two places at once. Lightly lift that out. Oh, that's heavy. Look at that. It's got a bell cord and a whistle cord. A different style of trailing truck than I've seen on any other model. And this is my first 462 Pacific, which brings me, I said I would tell what kind of model this is. This is a Union Pacific P77, heavy Pacific. Which one? I'm not entirely sure yet. I've been researching. You can see it's got the 4 pilot wheels, 6 drivers, 6 big drivers, and the 2-wheel trailing truck. And that looks really nice. Nice, finely detailed air compressor too. There's no cab backhead detailing because there's a motor in there, but that's fine. Is this... I almost thought for a second that there was a deck plate. I'm going to rotate it over. You can see all the additional details right there, including, I believe that's the power reverse, all the extra piping. Definitely the most detailed out of all of my models. And it probably pulls really good too, on account of it being so heavy. You got flying number boards right next to the stack there. It has a knuckle coupler, a brass knuckle coupler, pilot, and something I like about the Union Pacific locomotives is that the overhang, like 2319's Smokebox kind of sits back slightly over its, or on the pilot, but you can see that the front of the Smokebox almost extends, like, basically to the end of the pilot beam. So that is really nice. Here's a view of the top. Another headlight, which will be swapped out for an operating headlight eventually. And that is really cool. And as to not damage the finer details, this will probably be stored in a box when I'm not running it. That is really nice. I'm going to set this down on the bubble wrap, and we'll get a quick look of the engine and tender together. There's both of them. And set it down gently. Let's push the oil bunker back down a bit. Alright. Sit that down right there. So here you can see the locomotive and tender laid side by side, and you can definitely see that the top of the oil bunker extends over the cab. Now I'm pretty sure the reason this Pacific had this 6-axle tender was to extend its range, working out in the West. Fewer places to stop for water and things like that. Looks really nice. A little bit closer look in detail right here. It's also a little bit larger than I thought it would be, but I suppose it is a heavy Pacific, so that makes sense. This is everything that comes with the model, and there's some screws right there. I'll find out what those go to later. I almost forgot. It says Union Pacific on the bottom of the box right here. Very nice looking locomotive. I'm definitely happy with this order. And the reason I wanted one of these is because I wanted an accurate Union Pacific locomotive for a while now. And I saw this and noticed that it was a little bit more uncommon in terms of finding one, probably because everybody wants to keep theirs. But I luckily found this one on eBay for not too high of a price. So I went ahead and got it. I'm happy that I did. Now for the final section of this video, I'm going to put it on the layout and do some very light test running, because I'm not going to run it too much. I've heard that this model is prone a little bit to gearbox issues, so it'll be receiving an update or an upgrade of that in the future. But to end it off, we're going to do some light running, some light test runs, and that'll be it for the video. Alright, here we are on the layout, so let's set this thing down and give it a test run. Alright, carefully taking the tender out of the box. Carefully. It's going to take some getting used to of how heavy this tender is. And there it is, set down on the layout for the first time, sort of. There it goes. Or actually, let me test how free rolling these wheels are real quick. They seem pretty free rolling. Alright, let's set it down again. Also, I think I've gathered from the weight of this thing that that cylinder, the actual part where the water goes in, is probably not hollow. Like, it's just a metal cylinder. Alright, so there it is. Looks pretty nice. Now let's carefully grab the locomotive out and do the same with it. I just noticed a detail I forgot to point out earlier is that this has one skull and disc driver in the middle and then spoke drivers on the rest. I knew that already, it's just I forgot to mention it. So let's scoot this tender back a little bit right here, and I just noticed that this wheel is very free rolling. That's probably fine. All right, let's set it down for our first time on the layout. And there it is. Looks really nice. And you can see we've also got 2319 in the background here. Alright, everything is on correctly. You can see that suspension a bit right there. Alright, now to connect the tender and locomotive. Alright, there appears to be a line right here on the top. I'm not quite sure what that is. For now, I'm just going to move it to the side. Oh, and also, the drawbar has a spring in it too, which is pretty neat. Alright, it's in. And this actually has two different connectors. It has a close and farther back connector, so that's nice. Set it far for tighter curves and closer for realism. And there it is all together. I have it set on the farthest setting right now, so it can navigate the curves, but I'll see what it performs like up close later. And there it is. Alright, now let's give it a little bit of a test run. I am plugging in the controller now. Power is on. This, of course, is just DC, so it doesn't have any sound or lights or anything like that yet, but those will be installed at a later date. Now let's crank up the throttle for the first time. Oop. Apparently, forwards is backwards. So let's put it in reverse. Oop. Tender seems like it derailed a little bit. We just fix that. And let me re-angle the camera a little bit. There we go. Now let's run it in forward, which is actually reverse on the controller. Might need a tap. Come on. Oh, there it goes. My track isn't the cleanest, but might also just be that this model has been in a box for who knows how long. Oh, there it goes. I'm going to set it up so you can see a little bit more area. Alright, now that you can see all of this area now, let's throttle up again. I saw a bit movement. Let me shake. What's that sound? Up, there it goes. Up. I heard the sound of shorting, or a very high-pitched noise, so I'm going to check that out real quick. There's a little bit of foam in the spoke, between the spokes of the driver, so I'm just going to move that. Alright. Now, let's give it another run. It runs a lot smoother than I thought it would. It just takes a bit of throttle for it to get going. But it actually seems to start up slower in reverse. Alright, running into the shot here. Look at that. Running nice and smooth. Reverse. It seems to run a bit smoother in reverse, it seems like. Oh, I saw a spark. I think it's just the wheel derailed, so I think we're good. Alright, so there are the light test runs. Alright, with that, I'm going to go ahead and end the video. Thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I really enjoyed this, and I'm excited for all the work that will be done to it. It'll be a little bit later down the road as I am still recovering from purchasing this, but I am very happy and it was very worth it. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time.